instrument. I adore squash, beans, and corn. Lots of strings and horns. Over the beat, swing of a horn. Outdrum the outcome, the child of athlete is back in action. Fact, not fashion. Most y'all internet has-beens, more like commercials with whack acting. From commercial to action, I'm laughing back up to laughing. I spit man, God, civilization, John G. Jackson, like a Gatlin, the last dragon. Cosmic memory of an Atlantean. E3 technology is who I am in skin. Walking the landmass as Atlas. Some say I'm batshit crazy, but that's the masses for you. Can you blame the people? Most been trained to be feeble, tame sheeple by the evil who means to keep you cashless in the fastest society. Where the vax and the mass are the blame for the dying spree. You the root race, they medieval. Eat the cheap food they feed you or read through these fools. Restorer or rebel. Can't play God unless acquainted with the devil. Polarity you choose, acquainted with its level. Frequency, distance is an illusion. So please unveil the confusion. Look beyond the shadow of the late and hollow years. See the far and distant lands where tomorrow appears. Put it in perspective. Decision of each being the latest, most accurate vision of peace. Where each one teach one to reach one. Freeze one from under the trees and stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L. I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube. The past 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fused my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little sun, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time. Rip Van Winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too. To link you to source, yes, you rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They wanna extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, your oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun. The reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descended unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. I teach you up. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This is a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Sun store each clan better. Planting the devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors. Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders. Missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. The mutual go to coexist. Those warships and our tributaries. Military taxes to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. I expect more from those who want to conquest except war. They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Bush, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy in Brooklyn, projects and hoods where we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Hardly cushion. It's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shot the sheriff meaning. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this cannibal. If your brain's deeply manical, release or get treated damnable. Used to be Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line now, the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother, and his clique. Put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must we band together. Blend in the devil to stand the weather. Sound strong, just playing better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of the damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors.
I got another box of Tannerite. I got something in too. I don't know. I'm gonna open it right now.
Based on real life.
I went.
Like the ocean. High vibrations is what it feels like.
A music video and they put a yellow ingot on it. These people are retarded. They're cracking me up. They making me laugh.
Before I was knee deep out in them streets, gangling. Prison of that old crazy mess. This is what really makes me me, y'all, at its core. So check it out.
Oh.
I arrived in 1970, August 14th, to be precise, eldest son, firstborn of 5, alive as the Christ.
I know what I'll be watching when I'm eating my eggplant, curry, coconut lentils, and my wild rice I made yesterday. I'll be watching that here after we get done reading. My heart thing is sharp.
It was like my mother and father tried to hide us for the Pontius Pilate's key heroes.
Is that Baby Girl Slaughter come in? Hey, Baby Girl Slaughter, you got this book?
Kept away from ungodly ways of playing games, calling names the coast of what folly pays. I'm saying you wouldn't believe just.
It's one of the books I bought. So I didn't get the one that Jah helped me buy yet. I guess that'll be sometime this week. I got a yellow thing, so you know it's not open, so I don't know what I'm picking up, how much. It might be other books. That's the only thing I can think of. I haven't ordered nothing. Unless somebody sent me something.
Learn meditation and martial arts from my father. Watch my uncles create music, show I beat drums, play keyboards.
So yeah, this right here is this goes way back.
I would eat plums, not knowing this was part of who I would become. True stories. This is based on real.
Wait a minute, cause we're gonna get right into reading anyway. Hey, you wanna get these out? You want? No, you. I'll be back in this
what it feels like. True stories. This is based on real life. This before all the jail feel nights. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations. Now around it feels like 1982 was no longer separated from the outside world off the porch. Yeah, I made it. First noticed her standing in my b-boy stance. Leapt at the chance and began to break dance on wooden floors.
I'm gonna read this. I'm not gonna read it, but I'm just gonna give you a little synopsis of what the book's about. Let's go ahead. All right, 7 minutes. I don't want to get to the whole 10, 15, 20 minutes stuff. This is propaganda, the public mind in the making. Afterward, I've got so many books. Anyway, by Stuart Justman, Edward L. Burns. Now, this propaganda, the seminal 1928 book by Edward L. Bernays, stands as a foundational text in understanding the mechanisms of public persuasion and manipulation. Bernays delves into the art and science of influencing public opinions, drawing from his extensive experience in the field of public relations. You should know what that is. Okay? He explores the ways in which propaganda can shape perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors on a mass scale, often without individuals realizing the extent of their manipulation. And he goes on. I'm probably going to watch this video. I don't know if I'm going to have Cashapp because I'm going to be eating my second meal. So I'll probably just grab some water. No more tea. Don't drink a lot of tea. It's not good for your liver and stuff. But anyway, go upstairs with my water and lemon. I got my juice that I had a couple of sips from. Phenomenal. Matter of fact, I need to go get that. And I'm going to sit up there and read this. I bet this is phenomenal. So again, that's the video. Remember y'all saw me order that? Okay? To build the future, you must know the past. But what if that past has been hidden, lost, or denied? Circle of Life series. Now, we can actually, because we have Timonius and we have Ganja, I would love to get them here, set up everything, put a great background picture, and go into telling a story. Not the story, but telling the story of the history of our ancestors and put in, as I stated, don't call my dummy, no dummy, is phenomenal. But to have a video, and I could actually do with Jamil Samseed, if he was here, we could do a cross seat, clear the table off, put some stuff from like Chief White white persons, white two persons. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He makes phenomenal as far as antiquity, indigenous bows, the whole thing. Okay. I would love to be able to put some of his stuff. As you see, he made me the staff. Remember I showed y'all. Phenomenal. And then I have stuff from, I have stuff. Let me pull this out of my wallet. Here we go, right here. I have stuff just to show you. Because, you know, I love my kinfolk. Especially the ones that are really like the life I'm about, like really doing stuff. As you see, and may he sleep with the ancestors, and he's with me. But Chief Two Bears Ross, this is his card. Okay? Then the other one is Iron Bear Charlie, Indigenous Arts and Craft, and this is white two persons. I believe he's in Texas. So these are the individuals who are family to me, even though they, well, Tell Kwasi Yokwade belonged to my clan, well, tribe, not my clan, my tribe. But he was principal chief in New Jersey. But as you know, they're still family, always, as you are. You know, so I just wanted to share that. So I'm gonna watch that. If we get off this read, and go upstairs, and I'm gonna read this book. And I'm not gonna comment on it right away. Y'all know that. I've read quite a few books I've picked up here lately, and I haven't commented on them really. You know what I'm saying? Because very good information, yet when you calculate many things at one time, it's a magnificent phenomenon, but it's not a phenomenon. Great information, yet when you grasp stuff, in order to discern it, you must relegate yourself to more research because of the time we're in. And even I have to do that just to say boo ha ha or yay or nay. Okay? So watching that. I know this has got to be a very good read. 1928. Come on, y'all. All right, so let's get into it. He gets his nails into this. I'll be cleaning for days. It'll be up under the sofa. It'll be everywhere. Oh, no. I'll throw that away in a minute. So anyway, Delusion, what's up, beloved? I am Baby Girl Slaughter. What's happening, Baby Girl? Herbo. Yeah. It says 2 more. 2 copies of propaganda. Oh, okay. Yeah. Marcus Williams, what's up, beloved? Oh, hello. Flatland is. I am, and you know I have all the books that. Well, there's a couple I didn't really have to order that's also mentioned in there in the aftermath. Of course, there are numerous books in there that 5 that are more than enough. You know what I'm saying? To read and to cross-reference, more than enough, and it'll break things down as it should. And the whole purpose of why I got it. Let me put on my. You know what? It's too hot for the wool hats. I'm putting it right here. So let's get into Exposing the Expositions, 1851-1915, revised. You know, as you know, this is revised 2021 from its 2019 edition. All right, Mahadi Mikowski, Court of Chilagua, or Court of Honors in Chilagua, or Chicago, as they say. All right, exceptional read. What's funny is nobody was really looking at certain. The books that everybody was looking at was based upon black notion. Then I said enough of that, and I have so many books that I've read that y'all that I was reading before y'all helped purchase any of this, and people are like, well, where's he getting these books from? Nobody knew nothing. When I was reading about Tartaria, we're talking about my first channel that I got rid of. Nobody, there was nothing on YouTube. Well, I'm talking about like 12 years ago. And same thing when I was talking about on MySpace and AOL chatting. And there was nobody. This is what I love. I love the grapevine. And I'm not talking about the one that's loaded. The one that grapes jump on. You know, connect the dot. That's just the most, it's mine, but I love it. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to Chapter 6, San Francisco of 1915. The final fair to talk about is the 1915 Panama Exhibition in San Francisco. Panama Exhibition in San Francisco. It was the last of the great fairs, and along with World War I, becomes the marker for what came historically after. Prior to the First World War, the fairs had an industrial theme based around Greco-Roman buildings. After the war, there came a more modern-style exposition building and a focus on science and carnival-type fun. The narrative Rome is a new one, and that's all I'm going to say. If you want to take the narrative Rome back into antiquity, you are a fool. No such thing. It's a whole new construct for new people on a new land that they never occupied. San Francisco. What San Francisco is supposed to look like in 1848. Remember I showed this in a bigger picture. That was what it's supposed to look like. Man, there were nothing but cities there. That is a drawing, a lie. At the time when they had cameras and could take tons of pictures. What San Francisco is supposed to look like in 1848. California was given its name when the Spanish owners believed, or may have at the time correctly understood, that California was an island. It is. The area, and it wasn't California, it's North Carolina. The area was named after the mythological island in the famous novel Las Sagas de Esplandian by Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo. In his book, an island east of Asia was inhabited only by black Amazon-type women. The queen of the woman was Khalifa, who was linked to a fortune of gold. Today, California is known as the Golden State, as well as the foundation of 1960s. Now, you had the Moors and all these black exploit individuals say Khalifa is the reason why they call it California. No, it isn't. Y'all forget about those islands and all of. I don't think y'all sell the seas out there on the East Coast, and that's what they hide. And lately, they've been revealing more and more big old islands, bigger than you can imagine. Okay. And how many of y'all have looked at some ancient maps where it has California has North Carolina? And then they make you believe in the 13 colonies, a pure fabricated history and lie. Anyway, the queen of the woman was Khalifa, who was linked to a fortune of gold. Today, California is known as the Golden State, as well as the foundation of 1960s beach girl culture. That is a lot of coincidental connections with a 300-plus-year-old novel. So is the states, excuse me, labeled as the Golden State due to the gold rush. That is correct. Of 1849. Or was there something about gold in California that known long before that when it was originally named? Now, mind you, cities of lost gold west of the Mississippi were folklore on the American East Coast. West of the Mississippi. Something seems fully linked with the mythical 1400s novel, perhaps pointing to something much more real. Cordoba, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Now the Spanish are claimed to have ventured to the area of San Francisco in 1769, and soldiers and a small group of settlers arrived in 1776, a coincidental date, as it is also the start of the U.S. Revolution and signing Declaration of Independence. For some reason, it seems that the date 1776, if y'all get into gematria, you'll learn that's a bunch of crap, wants to be stamped in the head of the student of history as the start of anything in the USA. A Fort Presidio and a Mission Dolores were built in the area. I keep telling y'all, whenever I hear light-skinned brothers and sisters talking about 1776, you know I have the page, which is 776. That was, they started fighting us, sending little excursions to see and try and weaken us, and they couldn't. Star Force went full in action. We were like, what's going on? And yet we were still shaking hands with people because we didn't know what was really happening. Anyway, the new Spanish settlement was given the name Yerba Buena, supposedly meaning good herbs, reminding me of Chicago, similarly named from onions, Chilagua. It became a trading center for visiting ships. Mexico gained its independence from Spain in the 1820s and took over California in 1835. So it was never Mexico's. Do you hear me? Never. And that's history is kind of a lie. Englishman William Richardson built a house in Yerba Buena and set up a street plan for the new city in the standard historical narrative, of course. Not one Spaniard or Mexican had thought of setting up streets and city plans. It took a great and heroic English person to show up suddenly to do so. The Hudson's Bay Company opened a trading post in 1841, and a Wikipedia article claims a large building on the water's edge was purchased. What large building? I think that's the one y'all saw a few years ago during the pandemic that they went out there and rushed to destroy the remains of. I'll make another post. There's one in the community that I made last year that has pictures. We have drawings of what the city is supposed to look like in 1848 above. Where's the large building that could be purchased in 1841? And that's the picture that I showed you. Yeah, where's the large building? Excuse me. The trading post lasted a year, then was closed when the HBC returned to Vancouver. And what happened to the large building? The next claim is important. Now listen. The settlement was arranged in the Spanish style around a plaza that remains as the present day Portsmouth Square. Have any of y'all ever seen it? I have. When you look again at the drawing of San Francisco in 1848, where is the supposed plaza? We will come back to that question shortly. Quite a few things we're going to come back to. 1846 becomes a very interesting year for San Francisco. It has a population of 800, a fort, a mission, and an unseen plaza. Early in that year, North Carolina was claimed by the United States from Mexico. In the Mexican-American War. Again, in an unseen plaza, early in that year, North Carolina was claimed by the United States from Mexico. In the Mexican-American War, how could they be in the 13 colonies? In the Mexican-American War, on July 7th, the city was captured in the narrative without the Americans firing a shot. Sailors from the U.S. ship Portsmouth went into Yerba Buena and raised the American flag over the town plaza when the town offered no resistance. The name of the area was changed to that of Ship, becoming Portsmouth Square. Just 3 weeks later, July 31st, 1846, 240 Mormon migrants led by, listen to this, Sam Brannan, arrived on the ship Brooklyn. It seems very coincidental to have this group show up less than 3 weeks after one U.S. Navy ship captured the city. Why would the Mormons be coming to and at the time Mexican City? Because the group could not have gotten all of their travel arrangements completed in less than 3 weeks. They had to have planned and prepared to come before the city was captured. By January 30th, 1847, Yerba Buena had its name changed to San Francisco. This, of course, is odd because there were no U.S. settlers chose a Spanish name, Saint Francis. For a small, but wouldn't that be Saint Francis as far as in Italy or in Espanol? For a small town they had just captured, that makes no sense. English people like to name cities New York and New London and New Hampshire. New, ergo the language. So this Spanish name must have been a part of the city long before it became an American city. Now, mind you, in the maps of so-called 1800s, the fake 13 colonies, fake, you had Virginia, Florida, Louisiana. Virginia, Florida, and Louisiana going all the way over before the island of North Carolina. So there was a deal, because you need to know that Spain, And the New Europe and all of them were conquered between the 3rd and 6th century. Then they came here. And they worked out a deal to squalor the land. You know, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to research it. The maps are still there. And I've been saying this for a while. So do yourself a favor and take a look at it. And next we'll be talking about James Marshall. And we'll delve a little farther into the story of the fake New World, fake New America. Timaria, or whatever you want to call it. It has nothing to do with Moorish and Aramaic, all that nonsense. But you know, people who are grafted in by liars to keep division and separation going, no better. Was that informative? I gotta stop making a cup and a half. That holds about 2 cups. Boy, that's a lot of tea. And I don't drink no water. Oh, no, I do. But I mean, when I'm drinking my tea, I don't sit there and mix. Just don't do it. Okay. So now we're going to get into Heaven Bearers, The New Age of Deception by Janine Helene. Book 2 of 3. I turned the notification on, so I'll get notified when the 3rd one comes out. Now, I don't want to run through this too quick, all right? Janine Helen is a lawyer and author living in the Natal Midlands in South Africa. She has passions for storytelling and adventure. Here we go. So remember, we already got through the forward, rehashing what we finished off in Heaven Bearers, the Great Reset of 1834 in the Mud Flood. Now we're into the Great Deception. So be mindful, it changes, but it takes you a walk. And I'm reading it with you. Yesterday we were talking about marry, work with a pregnant baby, blah, blah, blah. Okay? You should be fresh in your mind. Excuse me. There you go, says the middle-aged nurse happily, and Mary turns her head slightly to see what is going on. The nurse is smiling and humming as she wipes the little baby clean and wraps him gently in a light blue blanket. It's a little boy, she remarks as she hands Mary the little bundle of material, and she notices a tiny little leg sticking out from the blanket. And she places him against her chest with absolute solace and calmness. She strokes him ever so gently over his face and head, feeling the soft bristle of his hair, and she can hear his heartbeat thumps alongside hers. Mommy! Alice comes running in with Kevin not far behind her, and she is so excited to see her little brother that she leaps up. Exclamation mark, but I just don't want to say it all out. There's people outside barbecuing. Leaps up into the air and tries to climb onto the bed. She doesn't make it that far with her short legs, and as she is about to fail completely, firm hands grab a hold of her and gently place her next to them on the bed. She reaches out her hand, wanting to touch him, but pulls it away suddenly, unsure if it is appropriate. Go on, Alice, her mother prompts her, softly showing her how to do it. Her big blue eyes watch carefully, and she moves her hand ever so gently, mimicking her mother's movement. He is so cute. She giggles and strokes him gently as if he was one of the dolls. Can I name him? I think I have the best name. She looks up at her father with those same eyes, making it for him to say no. What do you want to call him, Alice? Her mother asked, expecting the worst. Alice was at that age where she was boisterous and very loud, more so now that she had a sibling on the way. She was very sweet and calm by nature, but the excitement made her a little unbearable at times. They never intended for her to be an only child. You thought I was going to say OnlyFans style. Only child, and tried for years to have another, but they struggled to conceive the second time. Now, Alice was already 5 years old, and they were worried that the age gap was too big for them to really bond as brother and sister. Alice, remember the name, right? Cole, she blurts out with pride and holds his little hand. He is a Cole, C-O-L-A, as in Nat King Cole. She blurts out with pride and holds his little hand. He is a coal. Her smile is warm, and it is evident to both of her parents that she had given this name a lot of thought. Happily surprised, Mary begins to chuckle softly, her eyes locking onto her husband's and his responding positively to her request. It is settled then. We will call him Cole, she announces proudly, and much to her daughter's delight, mind you. Alice and Cole get along like twins, and the age gap is barely noticeable, except for his small size. He is much too small to do most of the activities with her, but she doesn't mind and always accommodates the situation to include him. She is patient and loving, and all the fear Mary carried with her had dissipated within the first 2 months. It was in the middle of May, and something woke her from her sleep. She got up and headed down the wooden stairs to the kitchen to fetch a glass of water. And on her way back to bed, she decided to check in on Cole. As quietly as she could, she opened the door and could see that he was fast asleep in his little white crib, and Alice was lying next to him on the floor, not wanting to let him out of her sight. Mary bends down and touches her soft strawberry blonde curls with nothing but her heart full of joy, and attempts to pick her up without waking her. The movement startles her awake, and her eyes immediately dart towards Cole, and she tries to pull free from her mother's grip. Come on, darling, let us get you to bed. No! She pushes her mother's hand away, forcing her to set her back down on the floor. She looks at her mother carefully. Her expression is apologetic and kind. She turns away from her and reaches into his crib, standing on the tips of her toes, fixing the blue and white polka dot blanket covering him just right so he won't get cold. Sweetheart, I know you love your brother, but you need to sleep in your own room. No one will hurt him, I promise. Her voice is a calm whisper, and it is a reminder to Alice that she is tired. She gives off a little yawn and grabs her mother's hand, and they walk back to her room. Mary helps her into her bed and tucks her in tight, making sure she has her favorite unicorn teddy clutched under her arm and the small green blanket that they had originally bought for Cole that she decided she wanted covering her feet. Good night, sweetie. She gives her a soft kiss on the forehead and turns off the light. Mary carries on walking towards her bedroom, but last minute decides to make sure the window in Cole's room is properly closed. She pulls back the brown curtains and has a big fright at the eyes that stare back at her. In the tree just outside the window sits a big bird with a white face and black, hollow eyes. Y'all thought I was just gonna read along because I'm trying. No, y'all get a cliffhanger, boy. Wait, what? Now, there, don't y'all get all riled up here in old sassafras. I'm gonna tell you now. We're gonna have us some prickly player jam, and we're gonna get this thing riding right along. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. Well, I come from Alabama, with a banjo on my knee. And by the way, y'all ever heard of that young lady, that young melanated lady in the Navy? The heinous act she did to her daughter. Y'all know about that? From Alabama? Well, I'm not going to give no more than that. I want you to look at what has become a lot of people because of the off frequencies, the 440 hertz, the 808, the chemicals in the food, and the ignorance of the parents, because she is really not to blame. I know it's a heinous act to do to your 9-year-old daughter, and she was in the Navy. But we need to stop blaming people. It can't hold people who have no notion of what they're doing accountable. The system is a corrupt system that does it, and we lament it and give it more energy, especially fear. So I went ahead and burned some sage and stuff for this young sister and all the others who are trouble out there. Just Google young Navy seaman, female, murders her daughter. She starves her and many things. And she discards the body. And she attempts to clean it up. But that's out of fear and ignorance as well. But I want you to listen to the mother and what her friends and all those had to say. While she was writing back, she had a serious seizure with the chief. I guess he was of her base or whatever. And he gets her to the hospital and look into it. Now, I could give her a name, and I'm not going to do that. No, I have not. I'll have to research that lady in the Navy. Thank you. Now, some people say, why don't you give the name? Why don't you do the work, people? I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to me. I wanted to keep this pretty short. I hope you enjoyed that quasi-semi read, but I want to keep you on a seat, and I don't want to rush through this story. And you know I skimmed through, so I'm reading it with you, regardless of skimming through. And besides, I want to watch this video and see what this individual. My apology. Rich Heap Films. Rich Heap, as in Heape Films. Black Indians: An American Story, narrated by James Earl Jones. One Golden Eagle. Wow. Aurora Gold Award. Omni Intermedia Award. Y'all didn't even look at the faces on there. Don't you see one of the Jacksons on there? I mean, pay attention. And narrated by James Earl Jones. Oh no, I had to have this. I had to have this because we have all these non-believers who are starting to realize that they may be living a lie. It's not a lie we burden them with. But we shall not live, and you shall not. I don't have to. I'm good. There's no lie I can live. But you will not live a lie no much longer. And that's why these individuals are doing what they're doing. And somebody hit me up, a family member, and says, yeah, Jimmy, I remember you talking all crazy to people, and people thought you were talking crazy, and they never said nothing to your face. And he says, I remember, and now I look at everything. He says, I've been going to YouTube because of you, and I've been listening to people here in Detroit. This is my uncle. He's 80s, 84 or 83, whatever. And he says, you kept the fire going. You kept the end burning so everybody can look down the street and see your window. This is what he said. And he says, if it wasn't for you, because a lot of other brothers and sisters, they're just comfortable living because they're recognized or they're whatever. He says, no, you were getting in trouble. You were getting beat. You were told to be quiet in the military. Remember you calling and talking about things, and people said, something wrong with Red. And I'm gratuitous because it's like cup runneth over. Something I would never, ever thought I would say. And it's humbling. It really is. It really, really is. I give thanks to my great-grandmother. My grandmother, when she all of a sudden Flipping Roofs came out, but she came back to her senses in her 90s. Well, before that. She knew. It's just, when you attempt to eradicate a history of so much death and pain, losses, land, this, that, and the other, and then I assimilate to a new narrative, it's hard. And my great-great-uncles who were just, and like Jamaicans, and they were just, and never, ever in turmoil, always at peace. My cup runneth over. It truly does. And I appreciate y'all taking the time. I do. I appreciate y'all. Who's that? Marcus William. I want to see if anybody else came in. I really appreciate when people speak up in here. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We took it to around 40 minutes. Under an hour, but it's cool. And I hope you all enjoyed the little shorts and blah, blah, blah. And a couple of videos I've uploaded. And again, this is a good read. And my cup, wow. Yeah. To have him say that, everything was worth it. Everything. See y'all on the AM.